Hello and welcome to CBS Sports HQ. Sherry Burris and Eric Casilius here with you. The first major championship of the year. It's finally here, and talk about an incredible day.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because look, one of the things about golf is it's great that we get 4 Super Bowls in that sport, or 4 World Series, but we haven't had them because of the shutdown. This is the first golf major in over a year. Good to have you back. Big time golf. Let's take a look at what happened with Tiger Woods in his day at the PGA Harding Park, San Francisco. Native Californian Tiger Woods, he's there. He was 35 to 1 entering the tournament. Didn't take long to get going. On 10, which is where he started on 10. Par 5, third shot, 39 yards out. Flops it onto the green, inside 8 feet. Finished it off for a birdie. 1 hole, 1 birdie. Then on 13, how about a 32-footer? Feeling it. Buckets. Tiger now 2 under through 3 holes, but he gives it back on 14, 8 feet. It's about a 50-50 proposition on the PGA Tour. Couldn't save the par, drops to 1 under. Then after 5 straight pars, here he is. Oh, almost 9 feet again, so drops back to even. Then Tiger would start making another move on 4. This is a par 5, third shot. Tiger in majors, when he's done well, has really gobbled up the par 5s. 159 yards out, sticks his approach to 4 feet. Finished it off for a birdie, so he is back to 1 under. Then on the very next hole, which is 5, how about a 14-footer? Yeah, you should take those 8 and 9-footers and back them up 5 or 6 feet. He was better in that 14 and longer than in that 8-9. After a par on 6, here he was on 7. 13 feet, that's what I'm talking about. Really good in that 10 to 15-foot range. And then the good vibes stopped on 8. Tee shot, par 3. Cuts right into the greenside bunker. Couldn't get up and down, save par, so he dropped back to 2 under. And then that would bring us to his last hole of the day, 9. 29-footer. Gives it a good roll. Comes up short, but really close enough, just a little to the left, taps it in. So Tiger, 68, his lowest first-round score at a major since 2012. How about that? And he breaks par for the first time in an opening round at the PGA in 5 attempts. So he had been bad day 1 PGA. That goes the other way. Tiger Woods, very nice start, processing nicely with a 2 under. Everybody else, well, they also were at Harding Park. It's been 381 days since the last major. Guys are looking to get after it, including Brooks Koepka, who's won this thing. He's the 2-time defending champ. 10 to 1 is a co-favorite. He started on 10 as well. And here he is on 14, 165 yards out. Stuffs his approach to 4 feet. Kicks that in for a birdie. Also birdied on 16. And then looking for more on 18. 11-footer left to right. Rolls it in. Koepka now at 3 under. Then on 4, this is a par 5 for eagle. 62-footer. Yeah, almost. Lags it up to 2 feet, tapped in for his 6th and final birdie. Koepka, very nice, 66. What about Justin Thomas? He was the co-favorite with Koepka coming in. Tee shot went awry on the par 3 third. He started on 10 as well, ended up with a double. That dropped the even par, and then the woes continuing for JT on 7, 13-footer. This is for bogey. And when that don't go in, that's called double. So he ended up 1 over. His live odds now 50 to 1 from 10 to 1. How about Rory Mcaway? He knows about this event. He's a 2-time PGA champ, won in 2012, 2014. Made 3 bogeys in his first 5 holes, but then he found his groove. On 16, again, he also started on 10. Look at that. It's like a magnet. 83 yards out, curls back a wedge 2 feet, taps it in for birdie. He's now 1 over. And then on 18, 11-footer, knocks it down, 2nd birdie in 3 holes. He would end up even. And then we have Bryson DeChambeau, big, brawny Bryson, looking to get his first ever major. In fact, he's never been in the top 10 in a major. No top 10s in 14 previous attempts. It got crazy on 7. This is a tee shot. It ends up in the rough. But that's not what's crazy. When he's picking up his tee, the head of his driver snaps. You won't like me when I'm angry. He was able to replace the shot because it broke due to natural forces. Okay, there you go. Anyway, on 18, it's 23-footer for birdie. Gives it a run. Not quite. A little short, taps in for par, finishes round. DeChambeau, 2 under, 68. Jason Day, everyone chasing the 2015 PGA champ. Kyle Porter said he was the best bet to finish into the top 10. Well, if day one's any indication, that ticket's going to cash easy. He also started on 10. Here he is on 17. The par 3 tee shot. That'll roll up into 3 feet. Then on number 1, 10 foot, knocks it down. Second birdie in 3 holes. And then on his final hole, which is 9, 213 yards out in the fairway. How about this approach? Gets it inside 5 feet. You know that one's going in when Jason Day's feeling it. He is a co-leader at 5 under with a bogey-free 65 on Thursday. All right, looking at the leaderboard, Brendon Todd. Talked about him recently. Recent weeks, he's been on top of the leaderboard. Started on a Sunday with a lead. He's going to sleep on the lead with Jason Day. They're both sleeping on the Thursday night. There you go. Bunch of guys at 4 under, including Koepka, Justin Rose. That's a nice little group. Not everybody had a good day. Phil 2 over. How about Patrick Cantlay, Ricky Fowler, and Spieth all 3 over? Ugh. All right, let's get our guys in. Doug Bell is still at the course, just making plays in that beautiful quarter zip. Then, of course, we have Mark Immelman. He's in San Francisco as well. And Kyle Porter, our Guy First Cut podcast. Let's start with you, Doug. Tiger Woods. Sometimes he's able to feed off a crowd that's usually very pro-Tiger. Nobody's there. What did you see with Tiger in a major where he wasn't getting the cheers?
Well, I saw Tiger Woods, who first off looked healthy and very happy. He wasn't suffering from any sort of back ailment. In fact, after his round, he went out and practiced for over an hour, and that's almost unheard of. And that tells you that he likes where his game is right now, and he likes the draw that he has. Although, Eric, tomorrow afternoon, the score's a little tougher in the afternoon, so he'll have to deal with some pretty substantial wind, upwards of 25 miles per hour. But secondly, the story for Tiger, his putter. New putter put in the bag this week. It's a little longer, and he talked about it afterwards. It was interesting. He added about an inch. He said all the guys in the Champions Tour, they do it because they have trouble bending over, which is kind of funny to hear him explain this. But at 44, he's tried to take pressure off the back, so he's added a little extension on the putter. Worked out great. 115 feet of putts made by Tiger today. If he keeps rolling the rock like that, it could be a real special week for Tiger Woods. Of course, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but so far so good.
Doug, I agree with you. Watching Tiger in practice on Wednesday, it was a cold, sort of dreary day, kind of blustery, and he was out there with Steve Stricker and Davis Love. And he was swinging free, but didn't look that convincing. But what he did is what all great champions do, is they take advantage of opportunity. And the opportunity, as you point out this morning, was some fantastic weather. It was like playing in a dome. And Harding Park, honestly, was as benign as I think we're likely to see it this week. Also, it was referenced by you, Eric. He took care of the par 5s, and that's kind of the underbelly of this golf course right now. So making birdies, playing those 2 under, the 2 of them, I think was a pretty big deal. And then I just want to reference, there are a handful of guys, I think, in the world's game that can come into a major championship, battling injury, battling weather and all the rest of it, and then put together a well-constructed round like Tiger Woods did today. It was a vintage sort of a performance, and everything was really quite solid. And I personally look forward to see how he kicks this on.
Yeah, I thought the vintage part of Tiger's round actually came in the middle. So he makes 2 birdies in the first 4 holes. You're like, okay, this thing's rolling pretty good. And then he has a real dry spell in the middle. He goes 7 holes, he only hits 1 fairway, and he played those holes in only 2 over par. And that's a part of his round where things could have really gone sideways. You're not hitting fairways at TPC Harding Park. You can make some big numbers. And Tiger played them in 2 over, which I thought was kind of limiting the damage. He made a couple of long par putts to, again, kind of limit how badly it was going. And then he brought it back together with 3 birdies at the end. So I really thought the middle part of his round, even though he didn't post the numbers there, didn't post a score there, it was really kind of the classic Tiger part where he's keeping a round together at a major championship, not playing himself out of it like we saw with JT, like we saw with Jon Rahm, like we saw with Rory Mcaway. And now he's got a shot going into Friday, which if you're Tiger, you're just trying to get to the next day, survive in advance, try to keep up with Brooks Koepka, and maybe on Sunday you have a chance.
Tiger Woods will always be a headline at a major, but other than Tiger, what is your headline from today and what you saw? Kyle Porter.
Yeah, I think my headline today is just the importance of driving. I mean, look at all the guys that are in the top 20 that are great drivers of the ball. Tony Finau, Bryson DeChambeau, Jason Day in the past has been a really good driver of the golf ball. And, I think you're going to see Brooks Koepka's up there. You're going to see guys as this event wears on, you're going to see better drivers of the ball kind of emerge and float to the top of this leaderboard. Your Brendon Todds, guys like that. It's going to be hard for them to stay up there. Brendon Todd did not drive the ball well today. He kind of putted out of his mind, and we've seen over the last few months that doesn't always end well for him in some of these tournaments. So I just think we thought coming into this week that driving would be at a premium. It was, I think, on day one, and that'll only continue as this rough gets higher and as the week kind of wears on.
Kyle, I'm with you, and the golf course, your observation is very astute. I think you've got to give a nod to Brooks Koepka, and his performance in the PGA over the last few events has just been astronomical, and to come out and play again was a big deal. But I'm going to play off today and say Jason Day was, to me, the headline. Obviously, he's leading. He goes around your bogey-free, and that is a big deal. Granted, he did play this morning. He looked healthy, which is also a big deal, and everything was sort of solid. And if you look through his last few events, I caught up with him at the Charles Schwab Challenge in Colonial, coming back from the lockdown, and he was energetic and looking forward to playing. He mentioned it as such to me. Played okay, missed a couple cuts, but since then the form has been trending. He's gone T7, T4, T6. Now all of a sudden he's atop the leaderboard at an event he has won before, and right now the game very rounded. I like what Jason Day is doing.
There's a great NBA basketball player named Robert Horry. They called him Big Game Rob. He won 6 NBA rings with the Lakers and the Rockets and the Spurs. And let's call Brooks Koepka Big Game Brooks. I mean, this guy in his last 5 majors, 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a 4th place finish. And today he comes out and he's right there again. A long way to go, but there's no question this guy, when it's a major championship, and we only have one this season, he flips the switch. He's a different golfer. I mean, compared to a regular tour event, Brooks Koepka is a monster when it comes to these big boy golf courses. So that's the headline for me. Brooks Koepka is at it again. He looked great in the opening round. Forget the knee injury. Forget the bad driving last week in Memphis. He's back at it again at his favorite spot, a major championship.
Kyle, why don't you jump in on Brooks Koepka and your thoughts there? This is a guy that I just, we can all use the examples. Again, the one I use is, there's a NASCAR saying, when the pay window opens up, Jimmy Johnson is always first in line with his hand out. When it really comes money time, Brooks Koepka's here for these majors. What'd you see with Brooks?
Yeah, it's true. I thought he had complete control over his golf ball on Thursday, and this is what we've seen the last really 2 or 3 weeks with Koepka. The 3M Open, the WGC last week at TPC Southwind. When he has an iron in his hands, it doesn't matter if it's a long iron, a wedge, anything in between, he's been money. I mean, he has been knocking down flag sticks. I think he made 10 or 11 threes on his card today. He was really, really good with irons in his hand. And as long as he keeps hitting fairways, he's going to keep having success. His last 8 rounds at the PGA Championship, he's been in the top 3 after each of those last 8 rounds. 6 of those, he was in first place. Obviously, he won a couple of them. And then 1, he was in 3rd, and then obviously today he's tied for 3rd after round 1. So he just exists in that top 3 at the last 3 PGA Championships, and I don't really see that changing based on the way he's hitting the golf ball right now. Is he going to win? Maybe not. It depends on if he rolls a few in on Sunday, but from tee to green, he's so solid that he's not really going to go anywhere over the rest of the week.
Kyle, I'm glad to hear you reference the rolling a few in on Sunday, because that's a big deal. I'll be honest with you. I've seen Brooks Koepka drive the ball better. The iron game, as you pointed out, was very much on point, because the key to playing this place is flighting your golf ball and hitting it the appropriate trajectory. And it seemed to me he had the ball in control in terms of left and right and long and short, which is always a big deal at a major championship. But to me, I've said it, you've heard me say it, you have to win putts to play and to be competitive. You have to make putts, I should say. And I think he was 9th in the field. He actually gave a nod post-round to Phil Kenyon, with whom he's worked over the last few weeks, and he recognized the improvement in the putting. And that's the kind of thing, that short club in the bag, it tends to flow through the bag, and it tends to have an influence on the iron game, which then kicks onto the driver. And it's amazing how that short club can equalize things and also buoy and sort of galvanize other areas of the bag. So the way he putted it today, he made some great saves. He did what major champions do, and to me, that was the big deal today.
Well done, gentlemen. My headline is there's still no chocolates on the pillow of Mark Immelman in his hotel room. I can't believe it. I don't know how this happens. If you give me the name of it, I will call housekeeping and get you the extra towels, pillows, and some chocolates. You deserved it. Great job by everybody there. All right, so we're going to have a full next few days at this major championship. Can guys like Spieth and Fowler and Cantlay, who were 3 over, can they get back in? Can Phil get back in? He was 2 over. Well, we always have great podcasts, including our golf podcast, The First Cut. You download, you subscribe, you enjoy. And as we mentioned, it's all right here, CBS, Harding Park, San Francisco. You see it. Your dates, your start times, 4 o'clock Eastern and then 3 o'clock Eastern. We will have the Wanamaker Trophy in somebody's hands on Sunday. You'll all see it right here, CBS.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.